Okay. Hello, Evolutionary Astrology Zoom meetings group. I'm Kaypacha, and today I want to talk to you about 2019, and in particular, I will be addressing the Saturn South Node of the Moon, Pluto conjunction in Capricorn. But first, I just want to give a broader overall interpretation of the way that I see things. As I mentioned in the last Pele report, I see this time period, this year in particular, as what I would call the changing of the guard. The changing of the guard is the end of the old patriarchal, hierarchical, external authority, male-dominated, socio-cultural, religious conditioning, and it is going away and going down. That was the old guard. And the new guard, the new paradigm, the age of Aquarius, the light workers, the higher consciousness, the third eye awakening, liberation, this is the new guard. Yeah, so the Kali Yuga, age of darkness, giving way to the age of light. You can look at it at age of Pisces, going away into the age of Aquarius. We're at this big, huge turning point in time. And to be more specific, Pluto in the sign of Capricorn, conjuncting its own south node. Okay, Saturn moving through Capricorn, conjuncting its own south node. South node of the moon also moving through Capricorn, really highlights and emphasizes and narrows down what can take the changing of the ages. I always say it's a 2,000-year age. It probably takes 100 years to change ages. I usually put it from 1950 to 2050. Yeah. In a bigger way, I could even say that this changing from a patriarchy into a new paradigm could take 500 years. And I say that started in 1750, okay, around there, 1776, with the starting of the United States of America. And it's going to go on until 2250. So we are the forebearers. We are just initiating this age of Aquarius, this new paradigm. We are sowing seeds that our children's children's children will actually live in, water, grow, and experience. So this year in particular, let's look at it. I mean, just a little broader, okay? Pluto is in Capricorn from 2008 until 2023. So a lot of this has been kind of bubbling up to the surface. And we just want to understand that Capricorn is associated with the patriarchy. It was when the nodes of Uranus were in Capricorn that the patriarchy was born, is what Jeffrey says. Okay, so, this is just not from out of the blue. This is that Capricorn's associated with patriarchy. Pluto is associated with transmutation, death and resurrection into a new form. Okay, and that's exactly what is happening from the years particularly of 2008 to 2023. Now, and so I kind of look at, well, when Pluto goes into Aquarius, okay, yeah, baby. I mean, right now we are closing, ending, finishing, which is a lot of letting go, a lot of loss, okay, a lot of goodbye, a lot of culmination, things coming up to be resolved, finished, completed, ended, okay? It's the closing balsamic phase that Saturn is approaching Pluto. Jupiter is coming around to approach Saturn and Pluto in 2020. So 2019, I see it as setting the stage. The south node of the moon came around to Pluto. And to me, that was just like, let's open up the Akashic records. South node of the moon, the past. Pluto on its own south node, the past. Let's look at our karma. Let's look at where we have been, what we have done on a spiritual soul level from our previous lifetimes and bring it up to the surface to be dealt with. 2019 now, Saturn comes up and it hits the south node of the moon. Giving a 3-degree orb, we're going to say that this goes on from like March until October. Okay. And it's really between the degrees of, say, 12 degrees of Capricorn to 20 degrees of Capricorn. So anything that you've got, okay, from 12 to 20 in the cardinal signs, Capricorn, opposite Cancer, square Aries and Libra, okay, these are getting, really hit this year, 2019, and hit in what way, shape, and form. Like I said in the description for this, this can appear and seem as daunting. These aspects can be very depressing. It can feel like homework. It can feel like a lot of pressure, expectations, demands being put upon us by external authority figures, by parental figures, even by our own children. It's whoever we give our authority to. Of course, as babies, our parents had authority. So this Cancer-Capricorn axis has to do with mom and dad. Capricorn in particular has to do with whoever laid down the law and said, you go to bed or else, you do the dishes or else, you get dressed and get to school or else. Whoever that was, it could have been mom, with a lot of single moms these days. It could have been grandma, grandpa, it could have been, aunts, uncles, or the orphanage. Yeah. But these external authority figures is, a lot of things will be coming through. We can see that, even our governmental leaders, okay, whether it's the Brexit or Trump or the whatever, there's a lot coming up with external authorities. The church, okay, the Catholic Church is admitting, to all the ridiculous abuse that's gone on there. So all of the external authority figures are getting questioned, challenged, and like I say, it is a time of karma. I say that because Saturn is the Lord of karma, and Saturn is coming up in 2019. It's hitting the south node of the moon, and it's going up to 20 degrees. Pluto's at 23, and Saturn comes right up to Pluto, kind of kisses it a little bit and says, later, man, I'm going retrograde. And goes right along with the south node of the moon. Okay, June, July, August, we've got this whole retrograde Saturn, retrograde south node of the moon, just going Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Goes right on back down until finally Saturn goes direct, okay, and comes back up. That's like in September or October, right? Like 13 degrees or something. And the node keeps going retrograde. Saturn goes forward again and then prepares for the 2020 when Jupiter comes along, and then Saturn is going to catch up with Pluto and do a little more than kissing. They're going to merge, connect, and unite like Pluto likes to do. So you see, this 2019 is like a preparation for what we call the grand finale. Now I want to get into the changing of the guard. So like I'm saying here, This is out with the old and in with the new. And there's a negative connotation that people have around karma. And I want to clear it up and say, this is not what I'm talking about. It's not just bad karma. Hello. There's a whole ton of people that have good karma. You know, not everybody is a Me Too victim. Okay. Not everybody has been an idiot, a jerk off, a control freak, abused power, abused their authority, abused their position, their fame, their fortune, their influence. No, a number of people have. We can say in particular, I say that the United States of America is the reincarnation of Atlantis. And Atlantis blew up the whole freaking planet almost, turned the poles, caused the flood, wiped out most of the freaking planet. And so, yes, the potential is there to do it again. Duh. Don't get me started on the whole US thing. That's why I'm in Costa Rica. But anyway, you hear what I'm saying. You know, if you're into evolutionary astrology, how Jeffrey talks about Pluto conjunct the south node of the moon in the chart. Okay, and Saturn also conjunct the south node of the moon. Planets conjunct the south node of the moon are in one of three conditions. One is fruition, that we have done this. We have worked on it. We've done our homework. We've tried our best. We understand Capricorn and authority and duty and responsibility, upside down, inside out, backwards and forwards. And this is a lifetime, if it's in your birth chart, of fruition where you take everything that you've learned, and now is the time for you to manifest it, do it, and take that power, take that authority, take that control, and lead the way. Second, you didn't do it, you didn't master it, you blew it, you messed it up, you gave all your authority away, you were a pawn, you were a baby, you ran away from responsibility and you ran away from duty, and then now is a time where, guess what, okay, this is a lifetime if it's in your birth chart, but this is a year 2019 where everybody, okay, where they have shirked their responsibility, where they have stepped out of integrity, where they have not done their duty, where they, and taking responsibility for what? For my relationships, for my income, for my freedom or my lack of freedom, for my being depressed or my being happy, or my being at the top of the heap or the bottom of the heap. This is taking responsibility for the reality that I have created. What do they say? Saturn has to do with commitment and contracts, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, richer or poorer. Okay, it's just like, guess what? Deal with it. Don't blame other people. Don't point fingers. Okay, it's not your mom's fault or your dad's fault or the government's fault, and it's time. The Saturn and Capricorn have to do with maturity. It's like freaking grow up, humanity, grow up. And for some people, it's like, yeah, I've just been waiting to grow up. I wish I was grown up when I was 5 years old. I wanted to be a grown up. There are Capricorns out there that are excited about this. And then there's other people like the Geminis. No, just kidding. I don't want to. I just got the moon in Gemini who don't want to grow up. It's like, oh God, no, kicking and screaming, it's like, would you grow up? Time to grow up, take responsibility, do your duty, have an impact, become a wisdom keeper, okay, and, create institutions, structures, forms to carry this wisdom for the next 7 generations. Become King Arthur, become Cleopatra. Like, step up. You are the new Gaurd. So, you see what I'm saying? So one is this fruition, the other is like incompletion. Okay, so the one is like, okay, right, I'm just like, I'm going to slide into positions of authority and power. And the other is, you know what? If I want to practice, therapy, I need a degree. And in my past lifetimes, I tried to do it without, or I tried to skip around society, or go around, or subterfuge, or what's the thing, scam, like for money. Okay, I wanted to be rich or whatever, I'm gonna do something illegal, or just do this scam or that scam, and just try to sleep my way to the top, or sell drugs or something, or what. I mean, just like not following the established laws, rules, norms that are required to become a recognized, respected authority. And this has to do a lot with, I would say, astrologers. Yeah. I mean, a lot of us astrology ruled by Uranus, spent past lifetimes, okay, being rebels and gypsies, and, hiding out, or getting thrown out, whatever, So like, now is a time, I mean, this could even signal a time where it's time to get, a certificate for astrology, or, get these courses, in alignment, and, get all the different forms of astrology, in some way, shape, and form. But that's for another talk, What I want to, just, emphasize then is the third. The third, and Jeffrey says the first two are very rare. It's very rare that somebody has completely understood and integrated Capricorn. And it's also very rare that somebody has completely blown it and run away and hid under a rock and not done any kind of Capricorn. So the third is a combination of both. There are aspects and elements of duty and responsibility that you can be very good at and be very well practiced at, okay? I mean, I can use myself as an example. I do chart readings at such and such a time every day, and that's just the way that I do it. And, I have a lot of self-discipline, okay, when it comes to my job. But when I'm not on the job, I don't have quite as much self-discipline as I could, as would do me well. Let's put it that way. So, we can have self-discipline. We can have integrity, in this particular role, or we can be really great parents, okay, and just love our kids, okay, but, when it comes to holding a job, I just can't hold a job. I can't stand society, or, a routine or whatever. So there's different, aspects and elements to authority, to duty, to responsibility, to self-discipline, to self-control, okay, and there's different places where it shows up. And of course, you have Capricorn in 1 or 2 of 12 houses in your chart. So this is where I have Capricorn ruling the 6th house. So when it comes to work, yeah, man, I do my freaking Capricorn. Bam, 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 bam. Now, the other thing that we need to take into consideration is the evolutionary stages. And we understand from Jeffrey again, around 3/4 of the world's population is in the consensus stage. And the consensus stage has projected their authority outside themselves onto gurus or presidents or military people or parents or, just, a corporate boss, and said, you tell me what to do. I want to follow your instructions and your recipe, and, you be my Capricorn. You be my Saturn. Okay. So 2019 for these kinds of people is going to bring what? It's time for them to grow up and become their own authorities and take responsibility for their own reality. So what does that mean? You can see it happening already. Okay. The leaders, okay, of the United States look like idiots. Okay. The leaders of the church look like idiots. Okay. A lot of what they just said, 26 billionaires own 3.8 billion people's worth of resources. So it's just like, so the rich, elite, okay, that are, privileged amongst us, right, are also, right, it just crashing in some way, shape, and form, or needing to deal with their own issues, dharma, karma. But we can say that Uranus is going into Taurus. We're going to see the stock markets going up. We're going to see the economy is going up. We're going to see the dollar and the euro and the currencies and all this kind of thing. We're going to have lots of fluctuations, lots of extremes, lots of panic, lots of stuff going on, particularly for 3/4 of the population consensus that have signed up for and signed into that reality. You see what I'm saying? Now, 20% in the individuated stage, okay? I say it's ruled by Uranus, right? Okay? It's don't tell me what to do. I'm my own boss. I'm my own authority. I'm going to, go here, go there, be independent and entrepreneur and, not pay attention to the norm and I'm a freak. I'm different. I'm unusual. I'm an astrologer. No. So what are these people, so when the shit starts hitting the fan, okay, where, this karma comes up, all right, like I say, everybody's going to be dealing with it in their own way. What I'm going to say is that most people are going to be dealing with it vicariously through external leaders that they're watching on the news and that they're watching on TV and that they're watching or reading about in the paper. So that's most of the people. And then we've got the 20% of the individuated who are going through it internally. Myself, I have become I have become my own authority. That's what the individuated stage is all about. I'm responsible for myself, my own creativity. And so these people are going to, deal with the pluses and minuses of that, how well they did it, or how much they tried to avoid it, deny it, or escape it. But one way or the other, it has to deal with this authority, duty, responsibility, and consequences. So if you have been a radical Unabomber, okay, trying to blow up the system, okay, without, any, and just, being a radical narcissist, okay, that is all about, I'm never wrong and I never made a mistake and, and the system is screwed up and this is screwed up and that's screwed up and I know better because I see everything and, I got my third eye open, I did ayahuasca once and whatever, kind of a thing going on. You get into this kind of a trip, okay, you'll also see, okay, consequences of that, in your personal relationships, okay, in your bank account, in your role in society. Like maybe you don't have one and maybe you would like one. Maybe if you think you know everything, you would like to be a teacher, and you would like to teach worldwide, and you would like an audience, and you would like to really bring in the new paradigm. And for some reason, shape God, whatever, in 2019, you've got no subscribers, you've got no listeners, you've got no audience. And then you have to scratch your head and go, I wonder, maybe there's something I need to look at here. So this is just a year. All I'm saying is that for everybody and anybody, this is a head scratcher. What did I do to deserve this? And it can be, oh my God, I have more money, and I've got more power, and I've got more influence, and I've got more authority and more people listening to me than ever before. And what do I do with that? It's like, this isn't, it can go either way. This is what I want to say. Yeah. And then, of course, the spiritual state, okay, which I associate with Neptune, okay, and this whole crown chakra, and moving into, okay, other forms, okay. I say, the individuated is head, and the spiritual is heart, moving from the head to the heart. And so this moving from the head to the heart is moving towards unity consciousness, towards the fifth dimension. Okay, where it's about love, compassion, forgiveness, understanding, which begins with yourself. You can't forgive somebody until you forgive yourself. You can't accept those who are different until you accept the differences within yourself. You can't love other people until you love yourself. You can't, It's all so much inner work. Whether it's meditation, any form of spiritual practice, this, that, and the other thing. And so Saturn, on the south node of the moon, is going to come along, are you disciplined? Okay. And are you really, in the place that you need to be when it comes to your heart space? Or are you escaping, avoiding, denying? Are you deluding yourself? Are you just like having no boundaries because you've got no spine? Or are you consciously, with discrimination and discernment, okay, in a heart space, giving guidance and spiritual wisdom, and not just being a jellyfish, okay, or not just being, there was a new, oh God, Laura, my wife, said it to me this morning. Platos de bebos or something. It's actually a plate of saliva. Yuck. Okay. I mean, are you a jelly? Are you just like jelly? Are you just like no direction, a mirror for your surroundings, a chameleon? This one day, that the next, and I'm just, I've got no, I'm just, floating in a sea of Neptune where we're all one. Give me another hit, give me another toke, give me another, something or other drink. I mean, it's just like, so there is responsible spirituality that, so we all get to deal with Saturn on the south node all this freaking year. And it can be great. What do I have? It comes up at 20 degrees, 31 minutes. Okay, April 30th. Saturn, it keeps going, and then it stations in retrogrades. Actually, right there. On that day, on that degree, that Saturn is exactly conjunct the south node, it stations. Saturn stations on the south node. Happy May Day. Yeah. Oh my God. It's Beltane. I'm going to be in Glastonbury. Wow. So, this is the maypole. This is Beltane, May 1st. Saturn conjoins and stations on the south node of the moon, then goes retrograde, right along with the south. July 4th, okay, they conjoin again at 17 degrees 36 minutes. And then they keep going back, but the node is moving faster, okay, and Saturn then, comes and goes direct September 28th at 13 degrees 57 minutes, and it starts heading off, and the node goes onward. So we're looking at, really, even like from now, but we're just going to say 12 degrees to like 20, 22, 12 to 22, give yourselves 10 degrees. Now, the other thing that we want to talk about is how this is working for you. Yeah? We know Jeffrey said Pluto, as the force of evolution, works in one of 4 different ways, depending upon the amount of resistance that the soul has for the evolutionary process. Do you want to grow or not? Do you want to evolve or not? Are you willing to transform or not? Are you willing to let go of the past and who you used to be? Okay, and be a snake and shed your old skin? Or are you attached? Okay, are you a butterfly attached to the cocoon, afraid to fly? So if you so if you are scared, insecure, you live in your ego, the ego lives in separation, you live in your head, the head lives in separation, you're not connected to your heart, you're not connected to your crown, you're just like kind of living in this world of, and this can be very much associated with the individuated stage. Okay, I'm in my head, Mercury, Uranus, whatever, and it's, I see this and I see that and I judge that, and, this is good and this is bad and we should overthrow that and revolt against that and whatever. But if you are in this place anyway of resisting change, evolution, in that case, it would be the evolution into the spiritual stage, into the heart from the head, you would be resisting that. Because you want to stay special, you want to stay unique, you are the smartest, you do know, you are the genius, you are leading the research team, okay, you are the, the jet setter, okay, or whatever, and you don't want to humble yourself by going into the spiritual stage, into Neptune, into the heart, and lay yourself at the foot of the, the teacher or the guru or the wise one. Yeah. But we have this situation where if there's great resistance, anything that is in the way of the soul evolving will be removed. That's the most extreme. It's very shocking. It's very traumatic. It's very, difficult. Okay. When we lose our arm, we lose our eye, we lose our partner, we lose our job, we lose our money, we lose our position. These are, this is when we are deeply, overly attached to something. And it's just like, I got the anchor and my sailboat is trying to, leave the doggone harbor, but I am attached to the dock. Okay, I don't know. Pluto comes along and cuts the cord so that you can sail on. But you have to say goodbye to the shore. That's a lousy example. But, loss, betrayal, and abandonment. Okay, if you're overly attached to your partner and you're not evolving in that relationship anymore, you're just in it for the security or the money or because you're afraid of being alone or you're negatively motivated to hang out in that relationship, you could be betrayed. You could be abandoned. They could dump you. Yeah. So, when we hang on to things longer than we need, they get yanked away. So that's the worst way that Pluto works. The second way that Pluto works is if we're holding on to this job, I'm holding on to this job, it's like, well, if I don't do this, I don't know how I'm going to make money or I don't know what I'm going to do. I really am an artist and want to play the guitar, but, I'm here at the bank, I'm in a cubicle, you know, I've got a 401k retirement account, and if I stay here for 20 more years, I'm going to be secure and safe when I get old, or blah, 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 blah. And your unconscious soul says, you know, come on, man. You've done this for 10 lifetimes. You've always wanted to play the guitar, and you've always had your job at the bank. In 2019, you get, you know, it becomes, and this is the second way that Pluto works, okay? Stagnation, suffocation. I can't stand this cubicle, this bank, this boss. One more day, I'm going to die. I'm going to suffocate. I can't breathe. You know, it's just like the walls are closing in. I feel like my world is just like getting smaller. It's just like, ah. This is the second way that it's going to be working, has been working. You know, the South Node hit Pluto a little while ago. So, you know, just in these last couple of months. Whew, yeah. So these are when we resist. The third is through relationship. And this can go either way, okay? You know, I mean, we can have somebody come in to our lives that totally takes away our money, or takes away our partner, or takes away this, that, or the other thing, or da, da, da. Or we can have somebody come in with a whole new philosophy of life, a whole new, you know, a new partner, you know, a new spouse or something, you know, a very deep, intimate connection, a new guru, okay? Or you get hired at a new job and your boss is just like, you know, a transformer. You go to school or whatever. So, you know, relationship can work in either way, to take what's no longer serving the soul, or to bring in what the soul has been calling, consciously, semi-consciously, subconsciously, or unconsciously, through relationship and partnership. And then the fourth, and this is probably the freaking best, and this is what I wanted to point out and work with largely today in this talk. When we open the Akashic Records, when we open the doors of the past, when we open to all the things that we have done, new talent, new capacities that were unconscious, that were subconscious, that I've worked on for 15 lifetimes. I have been waiting for 2019 for the Saturn to conjunct the South Node for me to step into the biggest shoes I've ever stepped into. This is what I'm saying. 2019 can be an amazing year for you. Many people have incarnated now, and I'll say particularly the Pluto and Libra generation, okay, that are in their late 30s and early 40s. This is your time, baby. This is squaring your Pluto. It's time for you to let go of your old bullshit, your old fears, your old limitations, and to start your new career, your new job, your new position, your new bam. It's like, yes. Next group of people, of course, okay, are the people in their Saturn return right now. Hello. You know, it was just like, boom. Yeah, if you're, 28, 29, 30, 31, this is again, the soul has set up this time for you. This is your time to graduate, to get, the certificates or the degrees or the masters or the PhD, for you to, take on, establishing yourself in a, in a position, in a larger, corporation or government agency or whatever, line of work or whatever you're doing, this is a time to advance, 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 advance. Definitely, definitely. So, this is really, like I say, the old guard is stepping out. And as the old guard either falls down, gets yanked out, gets pulled down, falls off their pedestal, there's a vacuum, there's a void, there's an emptiness, and nature hates a vacuum. So what we've got, okay, coming up here now, are roles, positions, okay, that are being vacated. And there's, because these people are not trusted, these people have proven that they're out of integrity, these people have, dropped the ball, not done their duty, not been responsible. And there's this vacuum, there's this void, and there's a new guard. We want to, so I want to encourage each and every single one of you, this is the time. This is not a time for running and hiding and escaping and finding myself and searching for this and searching for that. Come on. You know yourself through your creations, okay? This is a time of the north node of the moon in Cancer is coming into, okay, my core truth of I go to the beat of my own drummer. And as a water sign, my gut knows, I instinctively know, okay, what I need to do, where I need to go, what it is about. I was going to take this through the signs, but I seem to be ranting and raving for so long, man. I'm not even getting to the signs. Jesus, whatever. I was going to share my screen and just, look at this. Since I did it, I am going to share my screen just a little bit here. You get this sense now here, okay? And I was going to take this around the, around the chart, because the house position, is particularly important here. And what we can say is that, here is the, Saturn conjunct the south node of the moon, okay, July 2nd at 17 degrees, okay? And if, so you just want to see if Capricorn is happening in your first house. The first house is the house of self. It's the house of identity. It's the house of I deserve to get what I want. I have desires. I trust my desires. I trust my instincts. I am. And my will is thy will. Capricorn ultimately, and Jeffrey talks about this also, Capricorn is, I don't know if I'm not going to. I was going to go through here and say, okay, let's take it through the second house and the third house and the fourth house. But you just want to note, I'm sure this is the EA Zoom meetings. I'm sure that you guys are all evolutionary astrologers, and you don't need me to take these through the houses for you, right? You guys are all astrologers listening. I mean, there's only 12 people online. So, but what the point that I wanted to make is that, darn, I lost my stream of thought there, because as we step up and we step into position and we step into our roles, okay, we clean up and we clear out. And depending upon the house position of where these fall, this will give you, okay, the field of human experience where you need to do your work and you need to take on more responsibility, do more duty. Oh yeah, that was where I was. I was talking about, people with authority issues. Capricorn and Saturn have to do with authority. Well, they also have to do with the ultimate authority. And the ultimate authority is source and creator. And a lot of people, that can be rebelling against, this authority and that authority. And I can't stand anybody telling me what to do, from my mother and my father to the government, to the teacher, to the, corporations or the commercials. I can't stand anybody telling me what to do. This can just be a huge narcissist or just a huge ego that does not want to submit to the ultimate authority called source, creator, whatever other name you want to give it. Divine intelligence, I like that one. But we want to really look at and understand, okay, that probably somewhere along the way, each and every single one of us needs to submit more to the ultimate authority of source and creator in our lives. And the house position and the planets in aspect to this Saturn South Node conjunction and Pluto, particularly 15 to 20 degrees, 15 to 25 degrees of Capricorn, Cancer, Libra, or Aries. Planets in these positions, or particularly wherever Capricorn, whatever house it falls in, this is where I suggest you really meditate and ask and listen. Saturn is reflection, reflecting upon the highest, the most, right? Integrated the way that I can integrate myself into society, into the world, to have as great a positive impact as possible. Boom. That's a worthy pastime for 2019. So, like I say, just to kind of wrap this up a little bit, there's the old guard, there's we're going to see and we're going to read about, and you can get lost in, or you can get scared, you can get intimidated, you can, just get swept into the wave of, the stock market crashing, or the government shutdown, or the, this, that, or the other thing. You can get like pulled, okay, into the rabbit hole. And I just want to encourage you to not, to rather go, all right, these idiots are being exposed as idiots. Now's my chance. Do your blog, or, like advertise your wares and your healing services, and, and take on new clients. I mean, it's a year where people are getting wounded, loss, betrayal, abandonment. It's time for the Pluto and Virgo generation of healers that came in to heal. And this is, I think, how the new paradigm really comes about. Okay, is the standard pharmaceutical approach and the standard medicine approach, and the, all this, the DSM-5 and all this other stuff doesn't heal the wounds that people are experiencing, but rather the new techniques of healing, astrology, sound vibration, different forms of therapy, dance therapy, art therapy, color therapy. I've gone over the different all these kinds of therapies, all this, and then people have an internal personal experience of an alternative, belief in alternative reality and it's just like something that they never thought would heal them because their parents, teachers, and preachers poo-pooed it. Suddenly astrology heals them or helps them make sense out of their life experience. And so this is how society changes, is that the existing Saturnian, Capricorn, external, hierarchical, patriarchal institutions and representatives no longer meet the needs of the individual people. But the astrologers do. Oh, God. Preaching to the choir, man. You guys probably know all this, right? But so it is exposing yourself. It's getting yourself out there, and it's becoming a professional or becoming recognized or, I don't know, maybe I should like cut my hair or something so I get, appeal to more of the mainstream. Well, but just like listen inwardly, listen to what you are being called, to do, how you are being called to share, how you're being called to step up to the plate. All I can say is this is the time that we have been waiting for us to step into roles and positions of power and authority and lead the way into the new paradigm. So do not flip out, do not freak out. This is not the end by any way, means, or form. This is the beginning. We are at the beginning, and it is the end for a lot of people. And all we can say is thank God. Scene 5 is over. I'm ready for scene 6. Clear the stage. Get that old stuff out of there, man. We've got a new scene. We've got a new chapter. We've got a new reality to bring in. So this is a great year. I want to wish you the very, very, very best. I want you to have a good time while you are gathering together with like-minded souls to start new businesses, to start new enterprises, and to commit to making a change. You got your second Saturn return at 15 cap. Yeah, Carol. This is for you, girl. Get freaking out there and do it. So that's just about an hour now, isn't it? So I want to thank you for listening, for showing up, and I just encourage you to look at like this, look at the planets that are being aspected in the houses of your chart of where this Saturn South Node is occurring for you, and deepen your commitment. Pull all that power out of your past lives. It's like, the doors to the cellar are open. Let's get the wine out. It's been aging in there for a long time, sister. I'm sure that it's ready to drink. Namaste. Aloha. So much love. Oh, yeah. So we stop the live stream, stop the recording.